Nature of Predators, Book 2, Chapter 78. Memory transcript subject, Taylor Trench, human colonist. Date, standardized human time, February 9th, 2161. Earth. The blue marble in the viewport brought tears to my eyes, seeing the birthplace of my species in person. There were many conflicting emotions that whipped around my head, jockeying for control. I'd spent so many long nights mourning the loss of our civilization. And here it sat, stronger than ever. When the United Nations passed along my parents' present whereabouts, it had been Gress who insisted that I come back. I didn't belong here, even if the Terran government was permitting it. After 2 decades had passed since my family sent me off, the prospect of seeing them was overwhelming. It would be unbearable if they, spit in my face, had moved on or... Mom and Dad sent me away for nothing. I remember their last words. I'd sit replaying them as a reason to carry on, a tribute to their memories. They wanted me to be happy, and I'm sure as shit wasn't, except for the brief span where Gress was my refuge. They said that they'd be proud of me no matter what, but they didn't see what I've done. What if that's not true? Strolling out of the spaceport, smack dab in the middle of Las Vegas Strip, was a sensory overload. The neon signs that flashed in towering buildings, the fountains that jetted up into the air, the grandiose hotels and casinos, so distinctly flashy and human. While Paris might have been destroyed in the bombing, preventing me from ever seeing the attraction that Gress had shown me in the virtual reality, there was a glowing Eiffel Tower that rose into the sky. Even the palm trees were a marvel from someone who didn't remember a whisper of anything tropical, and had seen only the rocky walls of a cabin. The warmer temperature didn't bother me, since I was used to walking out in Teddy's dunes dressed in concealment gear. That had been hot. One thought stood out above all the rest as I looked around at the very curious passerby. I'd never seen this many humans in my life. The United Nations diplomatic staff in the SD station paled in comparison to the tourists coming here to live it up. I could see billboards and advertisements for glamorous shows and entertainment, and teared up even further. This was unimaginable to have at my fingertips, in a place where performance and art had been written off in general. The Cory dancing classes with Gress had been the lone expressive display I'd ever done just for fun. Speaking of Krev, it was fortunate that he was basking in Terran's attention, since he was the first of his kind to visit Earth. "Do they really call this Sid City?" Gress shouted at the onlookers. "It's just like primates to want to get into trouble. I have to see some of this mischief. Don't... Taylor, what's wrong?"
It's too much.
I squeezed my eyes shut as a Krev cupped my chin and turned it towards him. I'm glad it's just me and him. He's the one person I'd trust with anything.
All these years, my home thrived without me. Our culture is so beautiful.
And so are you. Humanity's spirit wasn't stomped out, and you can live life at 100% now. I don't want you to feel tied down. You've always wished that you could have your home, and you should be happy, Taylor. You should be able to breathe in the fresh air and look at the same sky that's always looked down on your people. I startled.
What? I don't want to come back here. This humanity's spirit might not have been shattered, but mine was. I'm damaged goods, nothing but pain and regret. They don't get me, and they shouldn't have to.
I'm haunted by people that tried to hurt me in the past, and my own failures, just as much as you are. You're not nothing but that, Taylor. You weren't free to be who you really were, and you had to hide all the aspects to make you a beautiful man I love. I like you much better when you're not a faceless, closed-off body under a mask, when you set aside that fear and hurt. There's nothing anyone has to get but that.
What do I even tell my parents about my life? What do I say? Just walking through the fucking front door after 20 years. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. I'm not letting you turn away now. I struggle every day with not saying goodbye to Lekka and not knowing when I'll see her again. Your parents have been feeling that for 20 years. You have been without them for years. If they love you, they'll support you and embrace you with open arms.
I'm not fucking ready, Grass.
Fine. Then we'll walk around the Las Vegas Strip until you are. I bet your casinos are so cute.
I gave the Grev an exasperated look. Literally, how could gambling a hub be cute?
Primates find a way. Let me look inside one and I'll tell you. Gress curled his claws into the back of my hand and dragged me, not leaving me much choice in the matter. a place where humans went to wager money on games of chance. The thing that had quantified as ruin before aliens came around brought a sardonic smile to my face. I felt self-conscious as security and staff gawked at us, though there were no explicit orders barring Krev and Ark colonists from the premises. I noticed that there was an ample number of alien tourists mixed in with the crowd, and wondered what the herbivores had thought of predatory games of chance. Was it our hunters' drive for domination that made blackjack value face cards, with binocular-eyed beasts sketched onto them, worth more than numbers? Clubs and spades are both symbols of leaves, very prey-like suits, while gemstones and hearts don't seem to get predatory either. However, I know how the Federation thinks. Disregard all evidence that they don't like. Gress, on the other hand. Gress gawked at the blackjack tables, watching. "Oh, that's so adorable. Saying hit me to draw more cards. It's so violent, making cards into a form of play fighting."
"Imagine what the vandal over there thinks of that," I grumbled, pointing a finger at the fluffy guest at the table. "Probably thought the dealer was going to strike the guy, and flinched when they said the words themselves."
"I don't see how anyone could find you scary. Smiggly casinos would be so much better with primate dealers. Krev would gamble forever."
"Hang on. The Smigglies have card games."
"Oh, do they ever? Those wiggly pink shits have debauchery much more covered than your sincerity." The Vendel at the table hissed at a human server, after sipping a colourful drink brought for him. "I was told that there were complimentary drinks, but this is just juice. Juice! Do you know who I am?" "We do, General Cram. You're a regular. They warn us when you're here, you know," the server replied. "Then why do you give me this fruity shit?"
"If you don't want it, I'll take it," I volunteered, until the Vendel shot me a blistering look. I coughed awkwardly, or not.
"Paws off, interloper. What hole did you crawl out of? Ouch! That hits close to home. The only place that needs to be taken is back to the bar, to be filled with real spirits." The server sighed. "Alcohol won't bring back the glory days, sir." The old Vendel shot a potent glare at the waiter, who relented beneath the withering look. "The drink has moonshine in it," the human said. "You just can't taste it beneath the fruit juice. Just please, try not to bother the other patrons with rants about Valn. We've had complaints." "There's moonshine in this shit. Why didn't you lead with that? Bring me another," Cam declared. I closed my eyes to run through our history with the Vendel before blinking them open.
"Gress, I think that's the general who wanted to shoot down Noah and Sarah's ship."
"What?" Gref hissed.
"Yeah. He came around to us being trustworthy, scared off Sovlin, and later helped with convincing the public. I didn't expect to see him chugging moonshine cocktails at a Vegas blackjack table."
"It doesn't seem like Cam is worried about phrases like hit me. The staff seem more worried about him striking them."
"Bro has one hell of a death glare. I drew his attention by trying to swipe his drink, so I think we should move on."
"Gladly."
The two of us strolled past rows of slot machines, where the subspecies of furthest primates called tourists happily tugged at levers to try spin 3 matching symbols. Grace got multi-eyes after seeing fruit symbols, perhaps imagining us sitting on a forest floor chomping real predator foods like strawberries. We really were terrifying in Apex, huh? The crab loved the hordes of humans milling about down the aisles and crowding each game. Though I was suffering from the disorienting lights and sounds, it was all I could do to keep up with his enthusiasm, gushing over every game. He pointed with a claw towards the roulette wheel, eyes gleaming. "Look at the humans spin that big wheel. They're all watching it with such fixation. Druvra would love to have one of these as a toy," Gress fawned. I narrowed my eyes. "Your Oba would want a segmented wheel with colours and shapes to bet over where a marble lands." "No, he would like spinning it round and round. Everything you do is so adorable." The Krev had taken off to the next game, with a level of hyperactivity I didn't know he had. The scaly alien was having a lot more enthusiasm for visiting Earth than me. It was going to be disastrous if his kind ever gone to visit here in mass. "Then look over here. You throw dice inside this precious table with a green felt. It's in its own little basin." "That's craps, Gress. It's literally just throwing dice inside a table."
The Krev bounded off with relentless enthusiasm, and I rolled my eyes. "Look over here. The humans keeping their cards to themselves like some big secret, and putting down cute tiny circles like they're trying to scare each other, sizing up their rivals for all serious and studying their expressions. You look so grumpy when you play competitive games. I love it."
"Is there anything that we do you take seriously? If these exact actions were taken by a species that weren't furnace primates, Would you feel the same? No, but just look at those furtive glances towards their cards, like scared, skittish obers. That's what you looked like when you took off your mask. I wanted to scoop you up and... Grass, you used to try to take us seriously and treat us as sapiens. What has gotten into you? The crow's tongue flittered about. Who, me? I'm definitely not trying to voice my unfiltered thoughts so that you'll get annoyed, and I could broad you over to your parents. So that is what you really think of Terran culture? This is a genuine struggle, Taylor. You have sketches of primates in fancy fabrics on your cards, blinking lights and sounds effects on machines, drinks in precious saucers that look like upside-down umbrellas. Those are called martini glasses. Humans even use fruit slices and skewers to decorate those drinks. You get my point. Love what I point out or hate it. You should enjoy all these little things too. I'm trying to help in a roundabout way by bringing them to your attention. It is something to see humans going about their lives, and all of the intricacies that are uniquely ours. Not just out of reach on the screen. Seeing you like a kid in a candy shop, it's adorable. The enthusiasm is both fucking annoying and highly contagious at the same time. Exactly. Earth isn't some scary foreign place. You can find ways to have fun here. You don't need to be away from home a second longer. It's a lot to take in, but you'll acclimate in time. I'll be here the whole time. We just need you to take the hard first steps, and you can have everything you've ever dreamed of, everything the Federation stole from you. I nodded, sucking in a deep breath. I'm just scared what my parents will think of me, of how I've turned out, and I think they'll be happy to see that you're okay. Everything else won't matter. Please, Taylor, trust me. I want what's best for you, and I won't let you stumble into any more regrets. There's nothing I wouldn't trust you with. What's best for me is you. Maybe I can do this with you beside me. You can and will do this. Let's go. Letting a much more reserved Reverend Gress usher me back out of the casino, I thought about the Terrans, the predators here playing goofy games of chance. It was trivial and airy compared to the concerns that weighed me down. I wasn't sure how I felt being back on Earth, a planet as foreign to me as Avor. After coming this far, however, I couldn't miss my chance to reunite with my parents for fear of rejection. There was a deep-rooted pain in my soul over being sent away to tennis, and growing up without a family or affection. I spent so much of my life alone, desperate for anyone's approval, while becoming a bitter and short-sighted man. It wasn't a wound that I could deny the existence of forever. The crowd was right that I shouldn't hide any longer from the society and loved ones I dreamed of for decades. End of chapter. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.